Christmas. Alright, this is the last in our three-part series of Christmas game ideas for 2023. This is a list of games for hardcore players, people that are really, really into it and really love board games and know them all and probably have better ideas than I'm going to proffer to you. These are games that are as in stock as I could possibly find, some of them harder to get than others, but in general, these are the games I think you all could benefit from looking at for either someone who loves board games and is heavily into it and frowns like this when they're making them move, either for others or for yourself. These are games I wouldn't pull out at parties, but maybe your parties are different. Anyway, so let's get to it. These are the games that I found this year that I think you would enjoy. The first one is, if anyone who's ever heard of Terra Mystica or Gaia Project, Age of Innovation is a new game I got. It's just recently been released and is available. Age of Innovation takes Terra Mystica, adds a bunch of things that were available in additional expansions for the original game, and then adds its own little flavor. The thing about Age of Innovation is that everything has a little bit of a mini boon to it, a mini benefit, a mini bonus, and I really like that. Everything in Terra Mystica that you had before, you now have, but you have even more. It looks. I like the look of it much better. I think it's generally a more aesthetic and vibrant look. Everything about Terra Mystica or Gaia Project that you liked before, you'll probably like in this one too. This is definitely my favorite of the three, although Gaia Project's not too far behind. I definitely like it better than Terra Mystica. Next we have Voidfall. Now this one was a Kickstarter, but there are versions available. This is a mind bender. This is a big mind bender. This will tweak your mind. It has so many manuals and so many details, and there's so much going on here to learn. What I recommend is that you just set it up and go through the tutorial. Just do it. It's easy. A lot of times I read the rule books so that I can learn how to play, and this one you really need to just set it up and try going through it. But the idea is, the Void are coming at you in the space game, and you've got things to build up. You've got your enemies. There's no dice, which is real. But there's so much going on, so many game phases that are happening. You're getting opportunities all over the place to win. There's so many different. There's cooperative. There's competitive. There's solo. There's like scenario after scenario after scenario, and the components are. It's not an inexpensive game, but it definitely gives you huge value if you are into that depth of play. So Voidfall recommended. I'm going to go out on a limb and say, if you are a solo player and you want a vast experience, definitely go for Mr. President. Mr. President, there's a lot going on. Now there's going to be an update with some, this game is vast enough and deep enough and sprawling enough that there have been things that have come about since then where people have found edge conditions and such that have merited them doing an update to it. So this might not be a great time for you, but if you don't mind that and you're okay with like just the errata and being there, Mr. President is a game like no other. It is this. If you want to experience what it's like to be a president in a non-specific way, this doesn't take any particular president. It says from from the 90s till now, these are the types of things you're going to run to as a president. These are the issues you're going to run into. It tries to be as apolitical as possible when dealing with a very political topic by nature. And so check that one out if you dare. The other one is the Isofarian Guard. Now, you still could probably find people selling copies of this, but this is very well likely to become my game of the year unless something really changes it. At least overall, who knows. But the Isofarian Guard is a 1 to 2 player game that feels like a video game, finally. And I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean it feels like you are traveling and journeying and upgrading and moving, and you're doing it without like the timer that says you've got 7 turns to do this or you die. Because this is what happens in a lot of adventure games where you're like, okay, I want to adventure out, I want to explore, I want to experience cool things and fight cool fights and conquer and deal with setbacks and all that, but I don't want to do it with a timer. This is the closest thing you're going to get to something that affords you that timerless experience while still being really riveting, really engaging. And so recommended. The components are top notch. It's bigger than most of my suitcases. So again, big investment. They are doing a second run of it, so you would have to probably find someone going, okay, I played it enough, I'm done, to get a copy. Then we have Border Reavers. Now, Border Reavers is done by the designer of a game, classic game, Here I Stand, about which was you want to play that at a convention with every like higher player count as possible. Border Reavers is 1 to 6 player, not 5 player, game dealing with the border. Basically, you're Border Reavers, and it has a Seven Wonders like gameplay phase where you're playing a card, passing it to the others, and then you pick a card, play a card. But rather than be simplistic like Seven Wonders, you were contending with raids and sheep and jail and all these things going on in the Scotland-England border. That has it's a vibrant game. It came out of nowhere. I backed it mostly because I thought maybe someday I would take it to a convention, but I found just from playing it online, it was a huge game that was so simple to play and so smooth and made so much sense that it took all this craziness and made it into something awesome. So if you get a chance to get Border Reavers and you have 1, 4, 6 players, and you like the idea of Seven Wonders but you wanted to have more meat, this is the game for you. And then Revive. Revive isn't a new game this year, but it was a new game that I played earlier in the winter, last winter. Revive is hard to describe because if I explain it to you that you're exploring, you're building, you're upgrading, you're playing some cards that upgrade other stuff. All of that sounds like stuff that everyone's ever done before, and yet somehow, some way, intangibly, this does it in such a clever and it's both curious and unusual and yet familiar. Like Revive is a game that you just have to kind of try to understand how cool it is, how many combos can be involved. It's got a new expansion out, but even without it, you can play and just explore this vast land. You're constantly getting benefits that you're using to pay for stuff. Where you explore, what you do, how you play. It's very react. You react to the situation as it occurs in it. And every game is different. So if you haven't had a chance to check out Revive, I really suggest that you do. And finally, a game that one of the newest games that's come out, but the one that's just I've become utterly obsessed with, is Downfall: Conquest of the Third Reich. Downquest, Fall Down of the Third Reich is a game done by the late Chad Jensen and in collaboration posthumously with John Butterfield and Kai Jensen. And this game does some things that a lot of war games do, but it does it so smoothly that you will be like, wow, this is cool. I mean, I've waxed poetic about it in other forums and stuff, but the big thing about this game is the initiative track. You don't all take a turn, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. You are playing either the Western allies or the Soviets, and you are then playing either the Eastern Germans or the Western side Germans. And so you're not only playing your side for its benefit, you're playing the spoiler against your opponent. And so this 2-player game, huge map, gloriously detailed, well done. The initiative, like the turns you take, the actions you take cost a certain amount, and if you take smaller actions that cost less, you could have 2 turns in a row for a given faction. Otherwise, you can take big ones, but then you gotta wait a while before it's your turn again, and so you have that to play. Let alone the fact that it has a classic war game counter experience, but it's perfectly balanced. It's not so simple that it's trite. It's not so complex that it delves back into your standard war game. You've got all the things you can consider, adjacency, terrain, defense values, combat values, strength, your own strength, whatever. You got, air support, naval. All of these things come into play, but they come into play so smoothly because all of those systems that you usually expect to be their own combat table are done in this very simple card conveyor belt, where the cards determine what's the aerial support, and then naval support and its tracks and supply and all that stuff. It's done so well and so so simply but so effectively that I have played this game. I am fascinated. This is a game I've literally set up a second table for just to have it on there for the long haul. And so if you have a chance to experience it, I really think that you're going to find it to be great. If come Christmas morning you open your presents and that's the only one you have, well, the rest of your day you can still, you've got plenty to do for the rest of the day. And that's it. That's what I have for the hardcore board games of 2023 Christmas suggestions. So what do you guys have? What did I miss? What is a game that you think is absolutely deserving to fit on a list of great Christmas ideas? So with that, thanks again, and we'll see you next time on Harebrained Games.